Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily on TGG for November 6th, 2024. This is going to be the first of these I've done video-wise. It's not the first time I've played one of these, but at all, but the first time I've recorded one. So I'm going to go through a little bit just why I'm doing this and what to expect going forward. But in the future, I'll just dive into playing the game. But yeah, so as I've said, I've played these a few times before just to kind of check it out. I'm not a big fan of the interface on TGG relative to Dominion games, but I'm not sure how much of that is just familiarity versus actual substantive critique of the interface. So I wanted to try and sort of get used to the interface in this app in order to kind of suss that out. And to do that, I decided playing the daily is a reasonable option. And so I figured as long as I'm going to do that, I could record it. And that way, if nothing else, it'll help me play better. So as long as I'm playing and practicing, I might as well try to use it as an opportunity to improve. And to do that, I think it's helpful for me to record. Hopefully it will also be interesting for people to watch. But even if it isn't, well, hopefully it'll be helping me out. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the app or with the daily, well, the daily idea is pretty obvious. It's like a once per day kingdom that you can play for free without needing to own any of the expansions or anything, which I do not on this app. I haven't spent any money on it. TGG itself, Temple Gate Games, like, the alternate Dominion app, if you're not familiar with that, I guess I'll hopefully put something in the description about it. I'm not really going to spend more time talking about that. I'm just going to go ahead and get started playing. I guess the other thing is that I think these tend to be dual set kingdoms. Although, as I'm looking at this, maybe this is actually mono set. No, yeah, Haggler's not from Adventures. A lot of this is Adventures, but Haggler and Oasis. Fool's Gold. Okay, those are all interlands, I think. Anyway, all right, so we've got no trashing, but we do have Magpie and Inheritance. We can inherit Magpie, ideally, I think. I guess I could see inheriting like Ranger, Page, maybe. Actually, and Ranger would be pretty good once you get Page up the line. So yeah, that's definitely an option. I guess we'll see how long it takes to hit 7. We're going to open Magpie Page. That much seems pretty clear. The AI opens Fool's Gold. Well, all right, that's probably not. And Messenger for Magpie. Oh, I'll take that. They didn't get a page. Okay. Is this the... Aha! Okay, there is a Kingdom View button here, so I didn't even know this. It just occurred to me to try to look at this. Wow, this scrolls fast. Okay, but hopefully... There's no, like, scroll bar. Oh, okay, I can drag it. All right, so there you go with the Kingdom View and the landscapes. Okay, anyway... All right, we see our page, we get a Magpie, that's all good. Do we want a second page? We don't care too much about treasure gaining, I think. In the long run, there's plenty of gains to be had. And there's also non-treasure econ to be had. The thing I'm thinking about, though, I mean, aside from just like, well, why not take one? I mean, I guess we could take an Oasis, but Oasis is pretty low impact. Is that getting it up to Warrior wouldn't be too hard, and obviously Warrior is some extra draw, and potentially an attack, a relevant attack if our opponent is not investing in Page. So I think I will get another Page. All right, so we have 4 again. I think, yeah, just taking another Magpie looks good. 2 Fool's Golds. That is annoying, because I don't really want the extra silver, but... $3 silver. Wait, did they also... Oh, they gained a Magpie too? Jesus, okay. Alright, so we got 5. I think Haggler is pretty reasonable, right? Like, we obviously it's going to be a little while yet before we get to Champion, but putting some Rangers into the deck would be good, in conjunction with more expensive cards like Relic, Hireling. We're not going to see it that often, so it's not like we're going to be stuffed full of other stuff, but the other option would just be go straight for Relic. It's also not unreasonable to just take another Magpie, really. Just because they are quite valuable here. I mean, what we really want to do, like it kind of already mentioned, is hit 7, and probably at this point it is looking more like inheriting Ranger. Let's take a Magpie now. We've seen 4 of our coppers. I mean, like in the long run with the Rangers, we'll have draw. But it is nice to have the additional consistency. How much do we care about the additional like payload considerations right now? Yeah, I think I'll take the Haggler, but I can definitely see arguments the other direction. They do inherit Magpie. Okay. Alright, we've got Page here. Oh, did we hit 7? So we can inherit Magpie. Well, we only have a Warrior right now, which I think... Yeah, I mean, we can get Rangers. I think inheriting Magpie is the play. And yeah, we'll go ahead and exchange that. Wow, double province already. So we hit 8 here with this Haggler. Oh, fuck. I should have I didn't even look at the fact that we're gonna have to trigger a shuffle. I mean, it's probably not that bad, but... Oh, yeah, that was... I should not have played this and risked triggering the shuffle without the warrior / hero in it. I think it's still better to play the hero. I mean the warrior. All right. So we could, like, we're still not going to have the plus actions. We could just like grab an estate here. We could also go ahead and take the relic. Try to hamper, draw a little bit. We are going to get a warrior, I mean a hero though, that could gain a relic. So that's why I'm like, you know, it would be nice to play like a hireling or something, but I don't think the timing is right for that. Nice to get the ranger thing going. Again, the timing isn't quite right. I'm honestly like cleaning a state. Wow, if page skip is correct here, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I think we do want to trigger the shuffle. We only gain 1 silver here. Should we go ahead and take a province? Whatever we shuffle in, like we're gonna have champion in the shuffle. Like that's the argument that we like could afford to take a terminal at this point or something, like ranger, Erling maybe, but I mean, honestly, maybe it actually was it correct to inherit Ranger after all, just to be able to like flip the token earlier. But I think what I'm worried about is that we're going to collide the haggler and the hero, and then not be able to gain multiple cards at that point. So like that would be the argument for just go ahead and take a ranger here. I mean, I get like we'll be able to buy ranger with haggler on play too, of course, but just in terms of like we're gonna want multiple of them. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Messenger, I don't want your fool's call. All right. It would be really nice, like, to draw the haggler here, but at the same time, we want to get to that champion. Yeah. I do not actually want to play this. All right. Ranger. Again. This is so obnoxious. Holy shit. I don't know if they're trying to like pile drive or what, but okay, we can get the token flipped. I mean, we know we have a magpie on top, so drawing with warrior is not that amazing anyway. Um, oh, we could have used pilgrimage to flip the token. That's interesting. I was not even thinking about that. I wonder if we just go Ranger Estate here. I think so. Messengering more Fool's Golds. I mean, this is adding payload to my deck, if nothing else, but... Shit. That champion's down there. Can't draw. Okay. Because we're taking one more Ranger. There's the champion. Yeah, they're really trying to lower piles here. Well, hopefully now we can find a Ranger. Nope. All right. Well, this is going to be a province, and Fifth Ranger doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. If somehow we trigger a Shuffle Wine Merchants, the best like payload we can get. So I mean, I guess it could be Wine Merchant. Yeah, why not? Jesus. Okay, here we go. In theory, I could have known that that was not going to draw, but... Okay, we drew deck. Alright, 4 provinces. We have exactly enough for 4 provinces. And that wins. I guess we would just take more Rangers. Oh, it was not reacting to the gold gains. Well, that was actually terrifying. Oh my god. It's like the sort of thing where like that's what a human player would never do that. Like this strategy that the AI did, they would like you would I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I find it really hard to imagine a human player skipping page on this board. And like yeah, they were one turn off. Like if it took one more turn for my deck to come together, like would have had it. Which is I don't know if that's what do I want to say? I don't know if that's because like I drew poorly, they drew well, like, you know, something along those lines, or whether because that strategy is actually that viable. I wonder how likely they were to be able to hit inheritance when they did. Unfortunately, one of the things I don't like about this interface is that we can't go... Oh, we can now. Oh, okay. I tried to go back in the log, like, apparently it saves the log, but you can't access it until the game is over. And like, normally you can only go back like a turn or two or something. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but... let's see. So they open Fool's Goal, Messenger, Magpie. And then Magpie. Get 2 more Fool's Golds. Turn 5 Inheritance. So that's really unlikely, right? They had 3 Fool's Golds in their deck. And they paired 2 of them and like had a whole bunch of copper. I mean, I guess at the point where you pair the Fool's Golds, you know, I think that is really what it comes down to, is that like it would have been, I mean, you're not that unlikely to pair 2 once you have the 3 Fool's Golds in your deck. You're not that unlikely to pair them together at some point. But specifically getting it on turn 5, even as opposed to turn 6, obviously can make a big difference, or potentially turn 7. Turn 3, they saw the Fool's Gold on turn 3. Turn 4, they shuffled. So this was actually, yeah, this was part of the reason this was unlikely is because they should have had, well, they had a 13 card deck going into turn 3. They see 5 cards, turn 3. Then they play a Magpie, reveal an estate. So they get through 1 card. So they effectively see 6 cards that turn, which means they had 2 cards bottom decked. Right. And they buy 2 Fool's Golds, and then this turn they see 2 Magpies, which is already itself unlikely because they had 2 Magpies total in their deck, and they had 2 cards on top, so they saw both of their Magpies. The fact that they saw the second Magpie wasn't like necessary, but and then they saw 2 of the Fool's Golds. So again, it's like with 2 cards on top and having added 2 Fool's Golds and a Magpie. Or wait, did they have 3 Magpies? I guess they bought they had a Magpie, they bought a Magpie, and they gained a Magpie. So they had 3 Magpies. So that makes it a little more likely that they see Magpie on turn 5 for sure. But you know, it's still 3 cards out of so there was like 10 starting cards plus Messenger, 3 Fool's Golds, and 3 Magpies. But we know that those, like the 2 top cards were the 10 starting cards, or from the 10 starting cards. So 8 plus 8, so 16 cards. So in the top 3 cards out of 16, they needed to see either 2 Fool's Golds or 2 Fool's Golds and not have like 3 estates or something like that. Well, I guess, yeah, double Fool's Gold, copper estate also wouldn't do it. I mean, we don't know where their estates were exactly, but there are ways for them to collide 2 Fool's Golds and still not hit inheritance, but it's not super likely. But yeah, mostly it's the whatchamacallit, the odds of colliding them in the first place within those 3 cards, or the odds of like getting a Magpie and then revealing Fool's Gold as they did, or drawing into Fool's Gold. And obviously, like, I say at 3 out of 16 cards, but you know, the Magpies aren't stop cards. There's 3 of those, so it's more like 3 out of 13, and then knock that down a little bit because Magpies, if you have them, can find the Fool's Golds. But it's still, like, I think that still illustrates, right, like, that you're not very likely to see to see 2 Fool's Golds on turn 5. And if you see 1 on turn 5, then it makes it a lot less likely that you collide them on turns, at least on turn 6, if not also on turn 7. So I think there's a world where, I don't know, they just like buy another Magpie or something this turn, and then like they're basically an entire turn further behind. Wait, I got it right afterwards? That's actually pretty funny, because I didn't do any of this stuff to like enable it. Maybe I was lucky to hit Inheritance. I mean, I did have a lot of Magpies in my deck and hadn't added all those other stop cards. Magpie reveals copper, Magpie gains Magpie, Magpie reveals copper, Magpie reveals silver. Yeah, so I like exactly hit it off of that. I think it also didn't matter as much that I did hit it that turn in particular, because I only had the 1 estate the next turn. Whereas, like, turn 6, they played 3 estates. So that answers the question of whether they had top decked any estates. They had not. But yeah, like that's the other thing I guess that they were fortunate on, is they like they drew past the estates the previous shuffle, and then they hit Inheritance, and then they had the estates down there where they can actually use them. So all of that is to say, I think that was like a particularly good run for the strategy that the AI used, and I don't believe in page skip here. Like, I do wonder, like I said, whether it, you know, I should have inherited Ranger instead, because then I have the plus buy in my deck, and I can just try to kind of like strategically use that to my advantage. Let's see here. Like, turn 6. We hit Inheritance. And then the Magpies are gone. Like, they would have ended up with an extra Magpie, surely. Would have been unfortunate, but not at the end of the world. Would have not gotten to play the estate this turn, presumably, because I would have played the Warrior, which would actually been a good thing, maybe, because I triggered that shuffle and I shouldn't have done. I wasn't like paying attention to the fact that that was a risk when I played that estate. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to buy estate at that point. I'm not sure what I would have bought. When did I buy the Haggler? It must have been turn 5. Yeah, it's also possible that the Haggler was just a bad purchase. Like, maybe that should have been Ranger too. I don't know. Or Magpie. I was thinking about it. If I buy Magpie here, then they get Inheritance. I play some Magpies, and then the Magpies are gone here, and I can't inherit Magpie, and so I definitely inherit Ranger. And then, and I do think the Haggler was really low impact, so I think I'm actually inclined to think that that probably would have been better. Pick up Magpie the previous turn, inherit Ranger. But yeah, then we play the Warrior without triggering. We don't hit 6. No, maybe we do, because we could have seen that silver anyway. So at that point, I don't know. We don't necessarily need to put a Ranger into our deck at that point. It's not even clear what we would want. Like, I mean, you'd take a state over Ranger anyway, but like, getting another ranger. I don't know. Like, it could be that you just take pilgrimage. That puts the, like, I wasn't thinking about it, but that puts the token into a favorable orientation. Yeah, well, this is more post-game analysis than I intended to be doing, but I guess that is, like, if you're gonna learn things, that is a useful thing to be doing. But yeah, it's definitely was scarier than I was expecting, the page skip. So it could be that the takeaway should be that, hey, actually the page skip was viable. And maybe I'm too stubborn in rejecting alternate strategies, but it just doesn't feel right to me. Like, when you have no plus actions, but you have ranger, and ranger draw, like, when you can just stuff rangers into your deck, it's pretty good. You get plus buy, and that initial burst of draw makes it easier to, like, find the additional rangers to line everything up. I mean, we saw that it came together at the end. So his turn 13. The other thing, I guess, that was relevant here is I didn't play the champion until turn 12. I could have played it as early as turn 10. I got the champion, I shuffled, and I could have played as early as turn 10. Had I done that, I think I mean, we did see, I guess maybe we wouldn't have actually, it wouldn't have actually been much different, because we didn't, like, see the rangers, right? Like, what really happened was we got the champion into play, and then we triggered a shuffle, and then we had more rangers in that shuffle. Although even then we didn't actually see the draw until turn 13. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't have actually made a big difference. But, yeah. Well, there you have it. And thanks for watching this overly long single game video, if you stuck through it. I meant to say this up front. I don't think I did. I'm not necessarily planning to do this every day. At the very least, I'm going to have to figure out, if I do, I'm going to have to figure out a more efficient way of publishing the videos than what I do with, like, my league matches and stuff, because it takes too long to, like, put together, like, the thumbnails and the descriptions and all that, and I don't want to have to, like, be committed to doing that on a daily basis. So either I'm going to do it something easier, or, like, I'm going to not do it, one or the other. But either way, I will assuredly play this again, at some point. If not tomorrow, then sometime. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and until then.